amazing stories I have ever heard. I am not a guy who sues people. I don't believe in, accidents happen, things happen, whatever. I don't sue people. I have to tell you, if this guy doesn't sue the hospital involved in this, it's not even a hospital, it's like it's one of those urgent care places. If that isn't put out of business, and if this guy doesn't own the town where this happened, there is no justice. Yeah. There is no way that this happens in America. There is no excuse for this. I don't care what your damn dog said. There is no excuse for this.
You should probably detail what happened.
Well, I'm going to bring the attorneys on. We have two of the attorneys for this man in New Mexico. We have Joe Kennedy and his wife Shannon Kennedy on. They are with the Kennedy Law Firm in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And their client was pulled over because he didn't come to a complete stop at a stop sign. And I will let them tell you the story quickly. We've already outlined it once. Joe and Shannon, welcome to the program. Can you kind of run down this quickly again and recap for anybody who didn't hear it?
Yes, thanks, Glenn, and thanks for having us on, and we really appreciate it to be able to talk about this. But our client lives in Lordsburg, which is a town close to Arizona and the Mexico border out here in New Mexico, and was driving to Deming, which is another town a little bit north of there, about a town of 15,000 people, and going to shop at a Walmart, that he was pulled over by the police officers, the city of Deming police officers, who called in another county to investigate as well. But through a series of questioning and allegations that a drug dog had alerted to the car, and we've discovered that the drug dog is not certified, and the posture of our client and all sorts of and other information which was false, they go to they get a search warrant from a district court judge in that city. And the search warrant authorizes what's called an anal cavity search. And based on that search warrant, they take him to a facility in Deming, again, another urgent care facility. And the doctor there says, no, this is unethical. I can't do this. This is wrong. And then they take him to another facility, the Gila Medical Facility in Silver City, New Mexico, where he is literally subjected to 5 to 7 hours of medical procedures, including digital searches, enemas, culminating in a colonoscopy, a complete colonoscopy, under the theory that the warrant authorized what the doctor called a body cavity search. And he's taken home at 3 o'clock in the morning after being stopped at 2 in the afternoon.
Okay, so he is oh my gosh. I mean, it doesn't go far enough to what you just said. Please go to theblaze.com and read this story and see what this man went through. Just the way he described it does not begin you don't begin to understand the horror.
2 finger probes and 3 enemas plus
2
a colonoscopy and 2 x-rays.
Yeah, so they didn't find anything. At what point did he ever say, no, I want an attorney here?
Oh, absolutely.
Where was his attorney?
Yes, absolutely. And the other thing, too, is the humiliation of this also is it's done in full view of uniformed police officers who are standing there and making jokes and making fun of him. And he's absolutely objecting to it, but there's only so much you can do.
But did he ask for an attorney? Because, I mean...
Absolutely.
And did
absolutely.
they
but there's Glenn, there's no right to an attorney until you're charged with a crime, and he wasn't charged with a crime, ironically enough. They found nothing in his car. They found nothing on him, and this man was never charged with a crime.
So you don't have a right to stop a medical procedure like that without being charged with a crime?
So if they don't charge you, they can just do this?
Well,
that's their case?
That's unreal.
That's the way they can't. And that's to some extent, the reassuring thing is it's clear. Yeah. The Supreme Court has handled this before a long time ago, and it's clear they can't do this. The problem is we have a collection of law enforcement and doctors who don't know this, and a district attorney was involved in this.
Now, Joe, to add the ultimate insult to the already egregious injury, The hospital then had the unmitigated gall to send him the bill for the procedures. Is that correct? Do we have that right?
Absolutely stunning. You can't believe this until you read the actual medical report of the procedures. And
that had to be a few $1,000s. Was that a few $1,000
for the colonoscopy?
How much was it?
How much?
$6,000.
Oh my gosh!
And they couldn't do the other thing about this is they actually fed him at 7:00 at night because the man had not eaten since lunch.
You're not supposed to.
And they called in the colonoscopy where he had to wait 4 hours until they did it at 2:00 in the morning because he had eaten.
Oh, jeez.
So it's just crazy. It's stunning. You can't believe it.
So what is there? The only thing I hear, and the Blaze has reached out. We're trying to get comments on it. Nobody will comment because it's in court now. But what is? Does anybody have anything where they say, "Well, look, it was real"? What you don't realize is, do they have anything?
No, they don't. Literally, do not. I mean, it is one of those situations where you're just stunned, and it's people who should know better.
So how come the police chief is now saying, "Look, we did everything by the book"? What book? Mangala's book?
Yeah.
What book?
It's a book I'm not familiar with, that's for sure. It's not published in this country.
So how come they're not just owning up to this and firing everybody and trying to? Because I have to tell you, if this happens to me, if they would ever do something like this to me, I would go crazy and I would sue the pants off them. No pun intended. But I would leave them with nothing, and I would want justice. However, if they immediately came and said, "Oh my gosh, this was completely out of control. Here's what we're going to do," I might be a little more lenient. But for anybody who is saying, "Look, we went by the book," it would only enrage me more, and I would say, I want their children's children to pay.
You sure you're not a trial lawyer at heart, Glenn?
You know what?
In this case,
Joe,
you got to be.
Joe, I tell you what, my friend, I'd love to make the closing arguments on this one for you.
Well, maybe we'll get you out here to testify as well.
Oh, this is the most outrageous thing I have ever heard. This is the Soviet Union. This is brown shirt stuff.
Not that this would make it any better, but was there any belief by the police department that maybe there was something going on? Does your client have a long history of with drugs?
If you ask law enforcement, they'll probably tell you that they were investigating him for suspicion of drug use or drug dealing or something, but they have nothing on him as far as any recent activity. This man he's a scrap metal dealer in the South, lives, works hard, but doesn't make a lot of money. And they don't like the people he hangs around with, but they've been harassing him for a few years here, just searching his car and things like that. They've never found anything on him recently. And
so
he
had
drug history, but nothing that he had drug possession conviction. But they haven't found anything on him, and they keep harassing him. And even in this case, they searched the car. They got a search warrant for the car and found nothing on him.
And this might maybe that what you just said maybe justifies them to be
to search the
suspicious
car
or to search. It still does not get you anywhere near what they actually did.
Exactly.
And there's no justification.
And based on literally, Glenn, the drug dog who was not certified, literally they claim that he alerted on the driver's seat. And based upon that, they had an inference that, therefore, this man has something in his anus.
He had what on his seat?
They alerted.
Some sort of alert, the dog alert. They allege there was a dog alert on the seat.
I have to tell you.
They didn't find it. And again, they didn't find anything. And this dog is not certified. This is there is a series of incompetence and willful disregard of civil rights here that culminates in this man getting a colonoscopy. So it is a significant sort of
Joe, I would ask you to advise your client, please, for the rest of us, please do not settle this case. Please do not settle this case. Go for the throat. You've got to send
very happy to see the positive support that people have commented on this story and the positive support of people. He's very happy about that and feels very encouraged. he's a little bit of a prisoner in his own house now, because obviously who would go out on the streets after having this done to you?
Mm-hmm. Is he getting any blowback in town?
None. And that's the good thing about the media, Glenn, and that's why we're so happy to be talking about this, because you shine the light on this. They're not going to harass him or do anything to him at this point.
So the community seems supportive of him?
Absolutely.
And there's outrage there?
Absolutely.
That's good.
This is something, I mean, this is
what is the mayor of...
a nice place to visit. This does not, look good for us, but this is not how we do business.
What does the mayor say?
Haven't talked to him. Don't know, frankly. And that's a good question.
I mean, I have to tell you, honestly, I've been to New Mexico before. New Mexico is a beautiful state. I was just saying to somebody the other day, because they live in New Mexico, and I said, I'd love to go take a vacation in New Mexico because it's really beautiful. It's just really, really beautiful. And something like this makes you say, what the hell is going on in New Mexico? No, thank you. I don't want to go. The mayor of this town should be all over this. Walmart should be all over this and say, look, we had a guy leaving our store.
Should be all over this too. We have a good, savvy governor out here who should be aware that this has gone on and should come out and speak out against it.
Who's the governor? That's the guy from Clinton administration, isn't it?
No, Susana Martinez.
Yeah, no, you're thinking previous. Martinez, a Republican.
Okay. Yeah. Where does he stand on this? Has he said anything?
I just want to say that, Governor Susana Martinez is a former prosecutor, and she would know better.
And what is she saying? Has she said anything?
Not yet.
Wow.
Well, I know
that she is, as a former prosecutor, would want to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America.
You would hope so.
You'd hope so.
Susana Martinez is not. When she learns of this, is not going to be happy about this at all, because it does make New Mexico look bad.
Oh, it makes New Mexico look horrible.
It's something you would think she'd be commenting on.
And I have to tell you, if I were the governor of the state, if I were the mayor of the state, if I were the chief of police, whatever it is, I would make it very clear, you're not covering anything. We are going to be very clear. We're going to do open books on everything. We're not going to hide anything, because this has to be fumigated. This kind of stuff. This isn't even close. I don't care if the guy, had been in prison before. It doesn't mean that you can do this to a citizen. No. It's craziness.
Based on their own affidavit, where they said they had suspicion because he was standing in an erect manner, means they could do this to anyone.
Yeah, as long as your posture's good.
You said this. You said something like this was tried in the Supreme Court a long time ago. This has got to be something that happened in the South, with people of color. What was it? Because this is horrendous. What was it?
Well, actually, there's a famous Supreme Court case, and I'm not sure where it originated out of, frankly, but it involved a stomach pumping for an allegation that a gentleman had swallowed drugs and the officers had actually seen him swallow the drugs, and they took him to an emergency room and had his stomach pumped for the drugs. And the Supreme Court said, we understand the need to prosecute folks, but we're going to draw the line at invasive medical procedures. This is literally, the Supreme Court said this is too close to the screw in the rack.
Wow, amazing. Guys, thank you very much. Joe and Shannon, you let us know how we can help. Please stay close to us on this story, because we will follow this story until the happy ending at the end of this one.
Anytime you want a trial lawyer on your show, Glenn, just call us.
You got it. You win this one. Yeah. You win this one in a spectacular way, please. Thank you very much. All right, Joe Kennedy and Shannon Kennedy of the Kennedy Law Firm in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Amazing story.
Usually you can say at the end of one of those, unless we find out that the client did this, I can't even come up with anything.
No, there's nothing.
No.
That's why I said, even if he just had gotten released from prison, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Maybe if he was saying, I swear there's something in there, you guys better keep looking. Maybe if he was saying that. That's about the only thing I can come up with.
Yeah, I put it in there 15 minutes ago.
It's in there.
It must be deep.
Find it.
You know what I'm going to need is a colonoscopy to
I
get that
challenge you to find it.
Here's our sponsor this half hour.